Welcome to another episode of Spaventoso Speculates. Today, instead of legacy cards, I wanted to take a look at commander cards that might be worth picking up. Some cheap pickups, specifically blue commander cards, starting with Flux. This card is from Portal, has some other printings too on the list, and Weatherlight. And it is under $1. It's a sorcery for 2 and a blue. Each player chooses and discards from his or her hand any number of cards and then draws that many cards. You then draw a card. And it's kind of a cheap blue wheel, and with the added benefit of you get to choose which cards you might want to keep. Now it does affect your opponents as well, so kind of keep that in mind, but they might be able to improve their hands as well, but you might be able to make some friends. As you can see, it's used in only under 1% of the decks on EDH Rec. So for under $1, a cheap card that can kind of filter some cards in your hand, it might be a good pickup. Next card, Pedantic Learning from Odyssey. It's an enchantment for 2 blue. Whenever a land card is put into your graveyard from your library, you may pay 1. If you do, draw a card. So this you kind of do want to build your mana base around. It might be worth getting all of the sack lands and fetch lands and maybe filter lands, things like that, to help you kind of get a maximum potential for this card. It is also under 50 cents on EDH Rec. Only 0.03% of decks use this card, and I think with a little bit of work on your mana base, you can take pretty good advantage and quickly get a lot of cards off of an enchantment like this. Next card, Borrowing 100,000 Arrows. 2 and a blue. For sorcery, draw a card for each tapped creature target opponent controls. This card is going to be better against decks with a lot of creatures, and then even then later in the game it's going to be better. Hopefully those creatures aren't swinging at you, but this could fill your hand and give you a lot of options to hopefully close the game out. Market price, under 50 cents on EDH Rec. It's in less than half a percentage of decks on this website. I just think it's a really good budget option to just draw a ton of cards. And I think that there is another one too here. You can get some extra options here to kind of do the same thing, called Theft of Dreams. It's a sorcery for each tapped creature your opponent has in play. You draw a card. And that's from Portal. There are, looks like another reprint here from Exodus. It's probably good art if you like that one. Under $1. 2 cards to do the same thing. And again, this is used in very few listed decks on EDH Rec. Over to the next card, Entity Tracker. This one's a little bit more new. 2 and a blue. Creature Human Scout Flash Eerie. Whenever an enchantment you control enters, and whenever you fully unlock a room, draw a card. So for about $1.30, if you build around this a little bit with some enchantments. But yeah, if you have an enchantment kind of build, a blue commander that likes enchantments, this might be something you want to consider. Next card, Customs Depot. 1 and a blue enchantment. Whenever you play a creature spell, you may pay 1. If you do, draw a card, then discard a card from your hand. This is going to be better later in the game when you're just holding on to a bunch of lands. It can help you filter for things that you need. It's under 50 cents according to MTG stocks on EDH Rec. It's used in very few amount of decks. And this is just something you can plop down and maybe not use it the first couple of turns it comes around, but then once you have the extra mana and extra cards in your hand, I do think it'd be good to have around just to grab better things than you might have and hopefully dig a little deeper into your deck. Next card, Coastal Piracy, Mercadian Masks, 2 and 2 blue enchantment. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. This is especially good if you have a lot of flyers, a lot of evasion, maybe some island walk, or something similar, some unblockable creatures. This card did spike a little while back, but it's back down to under $2 on EDH It is used in about 2% of decks. And for $2, it's probably worth it to have a couple of copies around in the event that you build a new deck and you want to throw this in there for some easy card draw. Next card, another newer one, Assassin's Gauntlet. This is an artifact equipment for 2 and a blue. When Assassin's Gauntlet enters, attach it to up to 1 target creature you control. Tap all creatures target opponent controls. The equipped creature gets +1/+1 and it has, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, then discard a card. This is going to be great to maybe get that final swing in. Tap all creatures target opponent controls can really set them back, especially if it's the player that was just before you, and then you and the next 2 players have a chance to go and swing at them. Even the foil looks like it's pretty cheap right now. On EDH not a whole lot of decks using this. Under 1%. And 25 cents, 35 cents, maybe 50 cents for an uncommon. This is powerful. I don't think that's too bad. Might as well pick up some copies while they're cheap. Next, Archmage Ascension, 2 and a blue enchantment. Now, I put this on the list. It's a little bit more expensive than some of the other ones, but I just think it's a pretty unique effect. And especially in lower powered games that might go longer, this can really ramp quickly and get you a pretty big advantage. So at the beginning of each end step, if you drew 2 or more cards this turn, you may put a quest counter on Archmage Ascension. Now that's each end step, so every player's end step, as long as you drew 2 cards during their turn. As long as Archmage Ascension has 6 or more quest counters on it, if you would draw a card, you may instead search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, and then shuffle your library. That is pretty powerful for 2 and a blue. Just a reusable tutor over and over and over again to grab everything that you need. Maybe your combo pieces, maybe some situational removal, counter spells, anything you might think you need. On EDH it's not used in very many decks, and still about $3, $4, $5 maybe. If you can find a clean copy, it might be worth having for your collection. Next up, Brawl, Chief of Compliance from Aether Revolt. This is a commander, but you might want to use it in your 99 too. About under maybe $2 or so. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. That one makes a huge difference on a lot of spells that go from just kind of meh to a really powerful punch that you can really kind of turn the board state around. And it also has, whenever a spell or ability you control counters a spell, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. And again, you're going to be wanting to hold a bunch of lands in your hand, or madness stuff, or things with flashback that you want to throw in the graveyard anyway. But I think mostly you'd be using this for the instant and sorcery spells cost 1 less to cast. Just about any blue deck could use this. So under $2, I would snag up a bunch of copies, just in the event that this card spikes too much or doesn't get a reprint anytime soon. It is rank 426. I don't know what that means, but yeah, it's not used in a whole lot of decks. And I think it should. Almost every blue deck. I mean, I would put this in almost every blue deck. Joint Exploration is next. This is a green-blue card, but it's an instant that has kicker for 1 green. Scry 2, then draw a card. If this spell was kicked, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Blue doesn't get a whole lot of land, kind of putting lands into play. The green gets a whole lot of them, so if you are playing a green, blue deck, this might be something you want to consider, just to kind of get that little bit of extra ramp wherever you can. And on EDH Rec, it is used in 2.3% of decks. But under $1, maybe 50 cents if you're lucky, you should grab a handful of these so you can be ready when the next green, blue commander comes out. So that was my list of blue commander cards that I think you should pick up. There are additional videos in the playlist. Thanks for watching.